the block universe, and the packetized nature of conscious experience. Introduction. Modern physics presents a picture of reality that sharply contradicts everyday intuition about time. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, the universe is best described not as a three-dimensional world evolving moment by moment, but as a four-dimensional structure known as space-time. In this view, often called the block universe, past, present, and future coexist as parts of a single geometric entity. Yet, human experience insists that time flows. We remember the past, experience the present, and anticipate the future. Reconciling these two perspectives remains one of the deepest conceptual challenges at the intersection of physics, neuroscience, and philosophy. A promising way to bridge the gap is to view conscious experience not as continuous, but as packetized, occurring in discrete intervals of integrated awareness along a world line in spacetime. The block universe, time as geometry. Relativity eliminates the idea of a universal now. Observers moving relative to one another disagree about which distant events occur simultaneously. Because simultaneity depends on motion, physics cannot define a global present moment. Instead, space-time resembles a completed structure. Events do not come into existence. They simply occupy coordinates within space-time. A person's life forms a continuous trajectory called a world line. From this perspective, nothing literally flows. The universe does not update frame by frame. It simply is. This raises an immediate puzzle. If all moments equally exist, why do we experience only one moment at a time? Consciousness as local access. The key insight is that while spacetime may be continuous, access to it is local and physically constrained. The brain is a biological system governed by causal limits. Neural signals propagate at finite speeds. Synapses introduce measurable delays. Information from different senses arrives asynchronously. To produce coherent perception, the brain must briefly collect incoming signals, integrate them, and broadcast a unified interpretation. Neuroscience consistently finds that this integration occurs over roughly 100 to 300 milliseconds. This interval forms what we experience as the present moment. Rather than perceiving reality continuously, the brain constructs awareness in temporally bounded integration events, effectively experiential packets. The packet model of awareness. Each conscious packet can be understood as a stabilized brain state containing newly integrated sensory information, memories of prior states, predictions about immediate future conditions. These packets occur sequentially along an observer's world line. Importantly, nothing moves through spacetime itself. Instead, neighboring brain states differ slightly, and those differences encode the appearance of change. A useful analogy is a completed film reel. The entire movie already exists. Motion appears only when frames are viewed sequentially. Each frame contains information implying continuity. Similarly, each conscious packet contains memories that imply time has passed, even though all packets coexist within the spacetime structure. Entropy and the arrow of time. The packet model aligns naturally with thermodynamics. The universe began in a remarkably low entropy condition. As entropy increases, physical systems create irreversible records, memories accumulate, causal asymmetry emerges. Later packets contain more informational records than earlier ones. This asymmetry gives rise to the psychological arrow of time. We remember the past because physical traces exist there, while the future contains none. Thus, the sensation of temporal flow may arise from entropy gradients embedded in spacetime, not from time itself moving. The present becomes the interval during which information transitions from possibility into irreversible record. Identity as continuity. Between packets, within this framework, personal identity is not tied to a single instant, but to structural continuity across neighboring packets. Each conscious state inherits memory structures from prior states and passes modified structures forward. The self therefore resembles a stable informational pattern rather than a fixed entity. Being a person becomes analogous to a wave propagating through a medium. No single point defines it, yet the pattern persists through ordered succession. The continuity we call selfhood emerges because adjacent packets agree about their past. Why packets may be physically necessary. Packetization is not merely a cognitive convenience. Relativity implies that instantaneous global coordination within the brain is impossible. Any conscious observer must integrate information over finite spacetime regions. In this sense, discrete experiential packets may be a direct consequence of causal structure itself. A relativistically lawful observer cannot experience infinitely thin moments. Awareness must occupy a finite temporal width. The brain's 0.2-second integration window may represent an evolutionary optimization balancing coherence and responsiveness. The remaining mystery. The block universe combined with packetized consciousness explains much. Why time feels directional, why awareness feels sequential, why memory defines the past, and why experience appears continuous despite discrete updates. Yet one profound question remains unresolved. Why is awareness localized to one packet rather than distributed across the entire world line? Physics describes structure but does not yet explain why experience attaches to particular states. Roger Penrose and others have suggested that deeper physical processes, possibly related to quantum state reduction or spacetime geometry, may play a role, though definitive evidence is lacking. Conclusion. The apparent conflict between a timeless block universe and the flowing nature of experience may dissolve when consciousness is understood as a sequence of integrated informational packets embedded within spacetime. Time may not pass at all. Instead, conscious systems generate the appearance of passage by linking discrete states through memory and entropy-driven record formation. In this view, spacetime provides the structure, thermodynamics provides direction, and consciousness provides the narrative. The river of time may not flow through the universe. Rather, awareness progresses as a chain of locally integrated moments, packets of experience, arranged along an already existing cosmic landscape. What we call the present is not a moving point in reality, but the place where information briefly coheres strongly enough to be experienced. And that coherent pattern, extended across many packets, is what we recognize as a life.